Cyberpunk 2077's oldest mystery got a massive update that no one's talked about. No, for once we're not talking about the FF06B5 mystery. We're actually talking about a mystery that's so secretive, people weren't even sure if it really was a mystery. Of course, talking about the 3-clue mystery. Now, people were never sure whether this was just a strange coincidence or it was actually meant to mean something. Now, I have got a couple of videos on the channel already about this, but for those of you who aren't up to speed, these numbers here, when split into pairs and put to their corresponding letters in the alphabet, actually spell out the word clue. There's a clue A, clue B, and clue C. Now, a lot of people assumed that this wasn't a mystery or an Easter egg, and it was just a strange coincidence, as nothing solid has ever really been found out about it, apart from the fact that it says clue A through clue C. One of the main reasons people actually think that this isn't a mystery and it's just a coincidence is because this code is literally plastered all over Night City, with over 500 instances of each prevalent throughout the game. However, one thing that might disprove that is the fact that this particular clue actually got an update. And today we're going to go over just exactly what those updates were, and hopefully prove once and for all that there might actually be some substance to this mystery. And so, to see exactly what was changed and what was updated, I went back to the release version of Cyberpunk to go and check out some of the locations where these codes can be found, and oh boy, was I surprised. Now, everything I'm about to show you was added simultaneously in the 2.0 update, which makes this very interesting. So the first place that you're going to want to go to is located here on the map, right beneath Mega Block Tower 3. Get it? 3 clues, Mega Tower Block 3? Yeah, it's already starting to come together. So one of the things that you're going to be looking out for is the fact that these clues are now written on 3 of the highways beneath Mega Block Tower 3. There's multiple ones on this road here in the road to Santo Domingo. A few more are located on the road from the downtown area, as well as a few located on the highway from the North Industrial Dock District. And all 3 of them roads connect here beneath Mega Block Tower 3. Now, if we go back to the release version of Cyberpunk, the interesting thing is that none of them markings existed before the 2.0 update, meaning that the developers have actually intentionally put these here to draw attention to them. So if we hop back here into the release version of Cyberpunk, looking at this road, we can clearly see that none of these markings exist. Unfortunately, we just have to run around as normal because mods don't work in the older versions of Cyberpunk. In fact, this entire road network was actually blocked off and unusable during the release version of the game. I know what you're thinking, so what, they added a couple more of these on the road. That doesn't mean that the Easter egg existed. But it's the fact that they actually bothered to add this particular code to the roads in a very obvious place where a lot more people would take notice of it. I would say, it's very strange that they decided to add them to 3 roads that all connected together under a mega block whose name is 03. You know what, if that was simply the case, if it was just them road markings, I too would also go, you know, maybe it is still just a bit of coincidence that adding it for set dressing, something to fill in the roads. But if that's the case, then why does it only exist on them 3 connecting roads and not on a single highway anywhere else in the game? That's a little bit suspicious. And this is where things get truly interesting, because there was actually something else that was also added to the game at this exact update that these markings were added to the road, and it's one that people think is an entirely separate mystery. However, I don't think that. You see, because in that exact same update that them roads were updated, the Burning Man mystery was also added, and this sum just so happens to have 3 separate entities added and subtracted. Now, a lot of people assume that this was a totally separate mystery, and they even assumed that the 3-clue mystery wasn't even a mystery, it was just a coincidence. But I think it's too much of a big coincidence that we got an update to the 3-clue mystery, and this mural was added to this rock, which has 3 components. Now, exactly how this links to the 3-clue mystery, I can't really tell you because I haven't figured that part out yet. But I personally don't think it's that big of a leap of faith to assume that these two could actually be connected. Of course, also, this is the exact spot where the Burning Man actually appears at 5 to midnight, which to this day players don't really know. Well, this links to the mural right behind it. We've got no real clue of what this mural actually represents. And the fact that all of these were added in the exact same update, to me lends credence that they are actually all related somehow. How? Well, that's the big mystery really, isn't it? But to top it all off, we actually got something else that was also added in this exact same update. A signature, a note from the developers, if you will. So you're gonna go ahead and head to this off-ramp right here. It's just over the way up from Mega Block Tower 3, and on the floor over here, you'll also find one of the Clue Cs. And located just over from here, we can see a bunch of Clue As, as well as something else very special. You can see this time round, we've actually got a bunch of dev signatures placed all over this area. Most interestingly though, they're using the dev font and colors that we've never seen in the dev font before. So over the side, we've got Paul and Yusef. In the middle, under a giant wang, we've got Grant. Then we've got Valen and Floris. And hidden just behind their names, you can make out the name Chris. These are all within spitting distance of Clue A and on the same road as a Clue C. Interestingly, we also have this rather interesting little sign located right next to the names, which really I've got no explanation how this got here. And actually, I also think it might be a clue as to what we could be looking for. Maybe somewhere or a building that's got one of these signs missing. Though I personally haven't seen this particular one anywhere in the game yet. So just to quickly recap here, in the same update, we got extra new road markings only on 3 of the roads that are all connected under Mega Tower 3. We got some new dev signatures here, a couple of which can already be found throughout the game, but not like this. And in that same update, we also got this mural / calculation added to this rock out in the Badlands. I also just noticed that this color red here is the same color as the name underneath the giant wang here. But the main point of this video was really to try and find if the 3 clue mystery was actually a real mystery. And at least in my mind, with the developers actually adding extra components to this, to me at least, that actually confirms that yes, there is more to this mystery than first meets the eye. So then, what do these 3 clues actually mean? Well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't got the foggiest clue. It still feels like there's pieces of this puzzle that are missing that we need to help to piece it all together. And I'm honestly willing to bet it might be something to do with this private property sign here, because it just seems so out of place for being located on a highway piece like this. And of course the sign is right next to where the developer names are. So I made this video to serve 2 purposes. One, firstly, to prove that there is more substance to the 3 clue mystery. And secondly, it's a call to arms for you guys to help me try and solve this. As after all, I'm just one dude, and Night City is oh so big. The crazy thing is that a lot of these have all been here since the game's launch, making this mystery one of the oldest unsolved mysteries in Cyberpunk 2077. So, until next time, my wonderful June batters of the internet,